So Monsignor Gray coming to you here from St. Thomas Church. So as we take a look at the sanctuary, let me just move the camera around just to be able to focus in on different things. As we see in the sanctuary, we see the decor portion of the church is actually being completed. And the scaffolding is all going to be taken down before long. As we then look forward to the area around the tabernacle, that will be the part that we'll work on during August. The reredos and the baldacchino over the tabernacle. So what are the things that we see that's done? So all of the flooring is complete in the sanctuary. So the white marble and the green marble is an accent. So all that part has been completed. And then in the sanctuary itself, the colors that are used, the green, influenced by the St. Thomas, the characteristic St. Thomas green color that we see so often around the campus. And then also the blue, reflecting the blue of the sky. So kind of reflecting the skylight. Bringing in kind of the blue of the sky is also making its way around the sanctuary. Around the back of the sanctuary then come the different symbols of the virtues themselves, all virtues that are related to the study of candidates for causes of canonization. And so in order, then you'll see one of the evangelical counsels of poverty, represented by two turtle doves. Then we get a theological virtue, the virtue of faith, represented by the cross of faith. Then of the cardinal virtues, we have the virtue of prudence, which is shown in the reflection of the mirror, but then also in the serpent. There's kind of some interesting explanations of that in the bulletin this weekend. Then in addition to that, we have the scales of justice, so the virtue of justice. Then we go back to one of the theological virtues of charity, represented by the heart. And then finally, back to one of the evangelical counsels, the virtue of obedience, depicted by the Ten Commandments. As we work our way around the other side, so there's the crowning virtue of humility, shown by the lilies of the valley that are there, that bow gently before the Lord. So we have the humility depicted in the lilies. Then there's the martyrdom itself. So we look at the martyrs, and it's obscured by the scaffolding right now, but we'll actually have the cross with the martyr's palm and the martyr's crowns. And then as we make our way back around, then I think we can get a better picture here of two more of the cardinal virtues. The virtue of fortitude, depicted by the Tower of Strength, and then also the last of the cardinal virtues, that of temperance, depicted by the pitcher and the basin, as we use a moderate amount, as we exercise moderation in our use of worldly goods. Then finally back to the theological virtues, as we have the anchor of hope, and then finally the evangelical counsels as we get the lily of chastity, the idea of that purity that is there. We see the stenciling that's done around the back wall of the sanctuary, in between each of the different images. And then we'll also see, in addition to that, as I kind of move back a little bit, there's going to be another stencil that they're beginning to now work into this arc that goes up and around over the altar itself, where the cross itself is anchored, and that part is being worked on as well. As we see also a little bit of the gray paint that is used to create a kind of a border between the blues and the greens in the sanctuary itself. So just kind of a quick peek of some of the things that we see here as we kind of step back and look forward in the month of August to the work around the tabernacle with the reredos and with the baldacchino. And then later on in September or October, then we'll actually look forward to the images of the different saints, the mosaics that will be installed to the right and the left of the sanctuary, Mary and Joseph, and then the four saints that would be put into the sanctuary itself. But so there's a little picture just to show you St. Thomas as it stands right now, and with a little bit more work to go on the decor this week before we take us a brief break and then come back in August for the work around the tabernacle.